All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. Great to see you today. We're going to be going over today live Q&A, and we're going to be getting in depth into a lot of different information that is going to really give you guys that next step for getting your health back. And I want to start out one of the basic things, and while people are jumping on, I'm going to go over the basics of what is going on with what's going on with the thyroid. I get questions about this all the time. So welcome everybody. Pop down below, type in where you're watching from, and I'll give you a shout out. And then also what health issue you have going on and what you're focusing on for 2023. What are you jumping in for? So let me go into what is actually going on with the thyroid. So Thursday morning, everybody's happy, smiling. This is you. Your thyroid is actually stimulated by what's called your pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland kicks out TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. So many people see TSH from their doctor and they hear, oh, that's my pituitary, or that's my thyroid hormone, not a pituitary hormone. They think it's a thyroid hormone, but it's a thyroid stimulating hormone. So many people are looking at this and saying, oh, TSH, and it's my thyroid is off. Well, that's not true. It means the communication to the pituitary is out of balance when that TSH is high or if it's low. So then we have the actual thyroid itself, and the thyroid kicks out T3 and T4. And so that's where you've got to test those numbers individually. So again, welcome, Bulgaria, good to see you. So again, put your questions down below. I usually get hundreds of questions when I do these live Q&As, and I have a hard time getting through all of them, but go ahead and put those questions down below. Love seeing you guys. Thyroid, there's multiple reasons why the thyroid will be out of balance, and it's not usually actually the thyroid. There are other things. So again, we're getting a couple questions in here. As soon as I finish this one up, we'll start bouncing into those. But let me know where you guys are watching from. Love to give you a shout out. We'll let you know what's going on with your health. So T3 and T4, those go into a bus. So the thyroglobulin, and then that gets transported to the cell. And then we get it back to the pituitary. And then do we need more or less TSH to get more or less T3 and T4. So the problems that we see, hey there in Fort Worth, good to see you. And we got some questions coming in. Why would my thyroid be sluggish? My doc says can't heal thyroid, but I think differently. So here's the deal. The vast majority of people are not dealing with thyroid issues. So yes, here's the thyroid, and you may have a low T3, T4 just because the thyroid's off. But what happens for a lot of people is that we actually have what is called Hashimoto's. And Hashimoto's is autoimmune thyroid. That means the thyroid is being attacked, the bus is being attacked, and we're not transporting thyroid like we need to. We're attacking our own thyroid. Hey, Susan from Michigan, and then we'll get to that pituitary in a second. And so Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease. It's not the thyroid. So yeah, when you ask there in Fort Worth, my doc says I can't heal my thyroid. Well, here's the deal. If you have Hashimoto's and you're attacking your thyroid, and all you do is take levothyroxine, you're never going to get better. You're never going to heal your thyroid because all that we're doing is trying to give you more T4, but doing nothing to stop the autoimmune condition. It'd be like taking glucosamine chondroitin for rheumatoid arthritis. You're attacking your joints and you're trying to give it something to make it a little bit better, but doing nothing to calm down that autoimmune reaction. So the big thing that we look at here is if it's Hashimoto's, no. Taking levothyroxine will never heal your thyroid. And just taking levothyroxine in general, even if it's not Hashimoto's, will never heal your thyroid. And that's the biggest problem that we have, is that they're not healing any of those things. So that's one issue. The other thing that happens is T4 needs to convert to T3. T4 is levothyroxine. And levothyroxine is going to be the main medication, #1 best-selling drug in this country. And that levothyroxine, T4 needs to convert over to T3, but in the vast majority of people, they're not converting like they need to. 60% of that conversion takes place in the liver, 20% takes place in the gut, and if either of those are messed up, you're not going to be converting like you need to. All right, thanks. We got a bunch of questions jumping on here, guys. Love seeing those. So again, Dr. Ben Gallier, F8 Well Centers. We have offices in Colorado, in Tennessee, and we work with patients all over the country. Thyroid is something we work with every single day. If you've got other health issues, let me know. Another thing that we look at is that TSH can actually be low and your T3 and T4 are low. That is a pituitary issue. The pituitary can get run down by a chronic stress state. The pituitary not only tells the thyroid what to do, it tells the adrenals what to do. So we've got to be able to figure these out. There's a link down below. Brittany just posted that. If you're having health issues, if you know you're not getting the results that you want with thyroid or whatever else, schedule a discovery call. They're free, and we'd love to talk to you about what's going on. All right, let's jump into a few of these. I've had such a hard time losing weight after I've gained all of a sudden since my thyroidectomy. So a thyroidectomy is when someone removes the thyroid. So kind of like Hashimoto's, where the body's destroying it, but you take out the entire thyroid goes away. So 93% of the hormone is T4 that comes out of the thyroid, 7% is T3. So now you took out that 7% T3, and you are relying solely on Synthroid or levothyroxine coming in, and that T4, and then you're relying on this conversion into the active form, which is the T3. So what do you need to do? You need to make sure you're converting optimally. So look at your ratio of T4 to T3. If your T4 is at the upper level of what the lab says is okay, and your T3 is at the lower level, it's a conversion issue. We need to work on the liver. We need to work on the gut, do a bunch of things to help with that conversion. So here's the major problem with this, and why you go through menopause and you can't just go on a bunch of hormones and they know exactly what they need to do. No, you need to get your body working as well as possible, because we'll never get it right with the right amount of hormone. Does testosterone and white blood cell count play a role in my health? Absolutely. So testosterone, if you're a female, testosterone is going to be telling us, for women, the number one reason why is they're under chronic stress. So it tells somebody about their stress state. So let me draw another picture here, and I want you guys to think about testosterone and ultimately why this is deficient in the first place. Everything we're talking about today is about the why. So cholesterol can turn into progesterone, which can turn into cortisol. Put down below, guys, what cortisol does while I write this out. Tell me what cortisol is for. It can also turn into DHEA. It can turn into testosterone, and then that testosterone spills over into estrogen. So did everybody write down cortisol? Cortisol is our stress hormone. So if we're under this chronic stress state and our brain's always going, number one stressor to the adrenals is blood sugar dips. We know that there's jobs and cars and kids and COVID, and you're anxious and all these things. Your body will start to try to prioritize this way and make more of this and actually less of that. So it's usually not even a testosterone problem, it's a DHEA problem, which is another one of these are the two adrenal hormones, the main ones that we look at, and we actually test these on every single blood panel. So if you have not had these tested, if you don't know where your cortisol is, where your DHEA, where your testosterone, your different estrogens are, you are missing out, and you're not going to get it figured out. So again, guys, pop questions down below. I will get to as many as I possibly can, and we'll go from there. So again, if somebody's in a chronic fight or flight state, chronic stress state, if their adrenals are depleted, anything, you're going to be stealing from your DHEA. Your DHEA is going to be low. I would like that closer to most females, at least 250. Hey, Misty in Oklahoma, good to see you. The testosterone is going to be low. I like that 40 to 80 for women. And then your estrogens are going to be low as well. So testosterone, motivation, libido or sex drive, muscle tone, get up and go, all these different things that are going to be like, oh my gosh, I have lost my oomph, I have lost my drive, I've lost my motivation, all of these different things. So great question there. And then white blood cell count, usually the issue that we see, so let me know if you guys have any other questions on this. This is a crucial part. Brittany, you can put a link for YouTube. I've got a couple in-depth videos on YouTube. If you have not been on my YouTube channel, over 700 videos, tons of information, just like everything we're going over today. But I go in depth, 20, 30, 40 minutes into individual topics and give you guys as much as I can. We work with patients on a daily basis. Hundreds and hundreds of patients were served last year and changed their lives. Thousands over the last, I've been doing this 20 years. The rest of my team, my F8 doctors, we have over 100 years of experience between us. So white blood cell count, I like white blood cell count between 5 and 8. If the white blood cell count is, if that is over 8, that's usually an acute infection, meaning you're fighting something major off right now. You just got exposed to a virus, a bacteria, something going on with major something right now. If it's below 5, that usually means it's a chronic infection. Your army has been out and fighting and spread out so thin and it's depleted. But the number one reason I see the white blood cell count low is lymphocytes. So the lymphocytes, you want to be under 38. And if it's over 38%, it's a very good chance that that's a chronic viral infection. So get out your blood work, look at your blood work. If your white blood cell count are less than 5, your lymphocytes are over 38, the vast majority of time that is going to be a chronic infection. What could that be? That could be Epstein-Barr virus, that could be mono, that's that same virus. It could be herpes, hepatitis, different things, but it's this chronic viral infection that is really depleting the body there. So great questions. Address the immune system, not the thyroid for Hashis. Absolutely. So Hashimoto's, remember, when we're talking about Hashimoto's, this is, or any autoimmune condition, but it's especially when we're thinking about Hashimoto's. So Hashimoto's equals an autoimmune disease. This is not Hashimoto's equals a thyroid disease. It's Hashimoto's equals an autoimmune disease. Now you change your whole perception from, oh good, I got Hashimoto's and prescribed levothyroxine. No, that will never fix it. Now you change your perception to, okay, I've got Hashimoto's. I need to now calm down the why. So let me draw this out for you. So any of you guys dealing with autoimmune or any inflammatory process, we're actually going to be going over this next Tuesday in all of our offices in Highland Ranch, Fort Collins, Brentwood. If you're within 50, 60 miles of those areas, I truly encourage you to get in to one of those offices. We'll be doing a live workshop all on this. So if you have an autoimmune condition, you've got to look into the adrenals. So many people, the chronic or major stressor is going to stimulate this autoimmune reaction. Number 2 is going to be blood sugar. You've got to stabilize your blood sugar 85, write this down, 85 to 110. Every time you poke your finger with a glucose monitor, you should be seeing that blood sugar 85 to 110. If that blood sugar goes too low, it's the number one stressor to the adrenals. Your vitamin D needs to be 60 to 80 for most people, but if you have autoimmune, it needs to be closer to 80. So get out your blood work, look at your vitamin D. If it's not 80, you need to be taking some vitamin D and extra vitamin D. You have to look at what is called leaky gut. Leaky gut is going to be where that small intestine lining is irritated, damaged, allowing food, different pathogens into the bloodstream and creating this big immune inflammatory cascade. Infections. So again, a lot of times we see people with that low white blood cell count and the lymphocytes high, chronic viral infection, and that is going to be driving this autoimmune reaction, Hashimoto's, any number of things. Then we get into estrogenic events. So many women, and this may be why that it's an 8-to-1 ratio of women to men with autoimmune. So many women are dealing with autoimmune, and a big part of it is estrogenic. If you never felt the same after one of your babies, or after you went on birth control or menopause or whatever, there's a very good chance that autoimmune was triggered. And I'll show you a couple autoimmune markers that you want to check in every one of your blood work. And then environmental toxins can be another one. Maybe it's when you moved into a moldy house. Maybe you're working in a place with diesel fumes coming in. A lot of different things can be contributing to this, and it is crucial. So again, I've got tons of videos on YouTube going hour long into autoimmune, and you guys can get more in depth all the information we use with our patients. Again, we work with patients all over the country. We have brick and mortar offices in Colorado and in Tennessee, but we can work remotely if you can't get to those. We have patients drive in 400, 500, 600 miles, fly in from California to Denver all the time to see us and get the brain map, get the blood work, all these things done. But we can't do it anywhere in the country. So down below, schedule that discovery call. I would love to talk to you guys about what is going on. So Carrie sent a message in here. I'm a vegetarian and allergic to milk. How can I build up my cholesterol? Thank you. Some of the things here, Carrie, would be fish oil would be a great one to start doing. I would get upwards of 3 to 4 grams if your cholesterol is low. You need to start looking into eating more fish, more salmon. Sardines are going to be great. If you could do a can of sardines every couple days, that would really be good, help build up that cholesterol. You want to look into other oils, not any of the seed or vegetable oils. You need to be looking at coconut oil. You need to be looking at butter, at even some tallow or some different lard, things like that. You can look into avocado oil, extra avocados. Not a huge fan of tons of nuts and seeds. A lot of people, it'll cause them to gain weight. There can be some inflammatory process with it, some different things. My weight gain grows, how to avoid it. So when we're talking about weight, I'm going to draw this out here as well. So if any of you guys are dealing with weight issues, I guarantee it's never going to be one thing. So if we have weight as our number one thing here, what are the systems that need to be evaluated that come off of that? Number one, we have to get your blood sugar stabilized. When we start stabilizing people's blood sugar, we use continuous glucose monitors. It's a patch that goes on the back of the arm. When we use a continuous glucose monitor with our patients, we see, especially if they're overweight, we see a significant reduction in weight just by stabilizing their blood sugar. My 18-year-old son, he was still eating like he was a growing teenage boy, and we put a CGM on him, and he was down 10, 15 pounds in a month just by stabilizing his blood sugar, not making it go up so high, not making it crash down. So, we can absolutely take care of that. So, he saw a significant decrease in his weight. So blood sugar, huge. Hormones, it isn't so much that people are lacking hormones. Oh good, I'm going to go on testosterone and I'm going to lose weight. Very seldomly do I see that. With hormones, it's usually the elimination of hormones and the lack thereof, that is the problem. We're not detoxifying like the body. The hormones are going to settle into fat cells. The body's solution to pollution is dilution, so we're going to hold on to more fluid. If you're feeling just kind of puffy and you're not necessarily tons of body fat, but you're just inflamed and bloated and puffy, usually there's a hormone detoxification processing issue. That can be liver, that can be different systems in the body just are not flushing and detoxifying like they're supposed to. There can be chronic infections can cause this weight gain. So if your gut is out of balance, the research shows if your microbiome is off and you've got too much bad stuff, it can cause us to gain weight. And those people that have a bad microbiome are going to be more overweight. When you fix the microbiome, that weight can go down. You can look into, like we were talking about with autoimmune, but leaky gut is another big one. So leaky gut is going to be creating this inflammatory state in the body as well. So absolutely, you've got to look into the leaky gut side of things, and then a little bit here is going to be your diet and exercise. So that can be helpful, cutting calories, exercising way more. But that's just a really small part of it. The vast majority of people are not going to see massive changes in their weight just by cutting calories and exercising. So great question there. And my TSH got all the way to 0.019 before I went to the doc because I was so sick. So either if your TSH is really low, two things. You're either taking too much thyroid medication, or you've got a hyperthyroid state, possibly a Graves' disease. So Graves is autoimmune. There's two thyroid autoimmune. There's Hashimoto's and there's Graves. So Graves is going to be a lot more serious. You could die from Graves, so you better take some massive action with that. Hashimoto's, you'll never feel good, but you're not going to die from Hashimoto's. But here's the deal. Yesterday, I just worked on a 56-year-old lady, and her thyroid was off. She was diagnosed with Hashimoto's like 15, 20 years ago, but all they did was put her on thyroid medication. And guess what? Now she's testing for rheumatoid arthritis. And she has other autoimmune diseases going on because they didn't address the why. If we would have got her hold of her at that day one and said, okay, great, you may need some thyroid medication, but let's also calm down the why, she would not be attacking her own joints right now. What are the top 3 immune triggers for autoimmune? Allergies, mold, reactivated virus. Here's the deal. The top 3 immune triggers, it can be any number of things. Some people, that they don't have mold. They don't get exposed to mold. So, is that a top 3? If you have an issue with mold and you get it addressed, if you get that exposure to mold, absolutely that can be part of it. Allergies, potentially food allergies. Sure, gluten, corn, soy, dairy, absolutely can be part of that. But it could be different things for different people. Some people, when we draw our wheel out, you could have 4, 5, 6 of these different ones, where somebody else that has the exact same diagnosis of the exact same autoimmune condition has different triggers. So there are no necessarily top 3. We know that if somebody has Hashimoto's, gluten very likely is going to trigger that. So everybody that has Hashimoto's, we say get off of gluten, whether we test them or not. So there are going to be some things individually for different autoimmune, but it's not necessarily, everybody's got a reactivated virus. Well, there's a lot of people that do, but there's a lot of people that don't, and even people that do don't trigger autoimmune either. So you've got to dig deep and look into each one of those. Do inflammatory reactions cause the autoimmune? So this is a great question, because that circle I drew with all the other ones coming off of there, each one of those is going to be a stimulant for an inflammatory reaction. When the blood sugar spikes up, we get this insulin spike, and that stimulates an inflammatory reaction. When the blood sugar crashes down, we stimulate the adrenals, and they tell the liver to kick out glucose, and then we've got this adrenaline going for us, and this is going to stimulate an inflammatory reaction. So if you're dealing with any type of autoimmune, you've got to look at it from this perspective: is what is stimulating this immune inflammatory cascade in your body? Every one of those things needs to be addressed, and as you do that, that's how we help people reverse their MS, reverse their lupus, RA. My mom had MS to the point where she was in a wheelchair anytime she'd go to the store, getting around, and now she's 79 years old. She's actually going to be 80 in a couple months, and she does Granny Boot Camp, and she goes fishing with my kids and all these things, and doesn't have MS anymore. How does that happen? Well, the body can heal. All right. Tammy, my doctor won't give me a hormone test. Pretty simple, Tammy. Click that link down below, schedule a discovery call. Let's get you a hormone test. Anywhere in the country, I don't know where you live, Tammy, but if you are not able to get the blood work that you actually need, then absolutely get a hold of us. And we've got cash prices set up. Very, very reasonable to get a complete blood panel. We're talking hormones. Well, which hormones? We're talking adrenals, thyroid, male and female hormones. We're talking autoimmune. We check ANA, rheumatoid factor on everybody. We look at the Hashimoto's antibodies for autoimmune there. Looking at GGT for fatty liver, looking for anemia states, or actually high iron states. We're looking at gut issues and immune issues and inflammatory issues, all types of different things. So if you're not getting that support, Tammy, and I'll throw this out there today. If you guys schedule that discovery call and then get that blood work, let the team know that I'm going to give you guys $25 off that blood work today. If you schedule that discovery call, Brittany, go ahead and tell my team. I always do these where I don't tell them ahead of time and then surprise them when I'm going to give a special. After this is Paula up in Wyoming. Good to see you, Paula. After killing the bad bacteria off in the gut, how do you get the good bacteria back and keep the bad from coming back? Well, you need to then re-inoculate. Re-inoculate means taking probiotics. So after you've done killing off, and this is what we do all the time with patients, is we don't just say, and this could be part of the weight. Remember we were talking about the extra weight, but the infection can be part of that. So we need to kill off first. And my favorite, Brittany, if you want to put a link in there for the Oregano Max. And that I've been using that for over 20 years. My favorite kill off for anybody that's got bad bacteria, yeast, anything going on in the gut. Brittany will put a link down below. You can grab that off our well store. This is exactly what we use with our patients. Then after you're done with that one, then you bring in the probiotics. So we are not going to sit here and go, just take a whole bunch of probiotics and your gut's going to be fine. That doesn't work. Taking probiotics is great, but we have to kill off first. It's like this: the bad stuff is here, good stuff is here. Just taking some good stuff doesn't bring the bad stuff down enough. We've got to bring the bad stuff down and then bring the good stuff up. And for a lot of patients that are in pretty bad shape in their gut, we may go through that cycle 2 or 3 times. Kill off, bottle of good stuff, kill off, bottle of good stuff. And then how do you keep it from coming back? Well, don't feed the yeast, so you want to keep sugar to an absolute minimum. You want to make sure that you're having a good variety of vegetables, providing prebiotic type scenarios. You want to be taking fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, things like that. So great question, Paula. And let's go here. Holy cow, we got a bunch of questions coming in. Hey guys, if I do not get to your question, and I probably won't because I'm going to have to jump in about 20 minutes, and there are about 100 questions on here. Here is my email, Dr. Ben at f8wellcenters.com. And you can send me a direct message there. So Dr. Ben, DRBEN at f8wellcenters.com, or send us a direct message, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, however you want to get a hold of us. Send us a DM. I'll answer to the best of my ability. And let's go here. Yeah, Misty, the price is fantastic. Just letting you know, great, awesome. So yeah, let's we're able to get a really good price on the blood work. All right, my testosterone level is high. That gives me unwanted hair growth. So if you're a female and you've got unwanted chin hairs, things like that, and it has high testosterone, that is usually a PCOS type pattern, and that is going to be coming from insulin resistance. So what does that mean? Well, insulin resistance is where that blood sugar is out of balance, and we're getting metabolic syndrome, we're getting prediabetes, all these things. Ironically, as men's insulin resistance and blood sugar issues come, their testosterone actually goes down. They start converting into estrogen. As women's testosterone starts going up, that's actually from blood sugar. So blood sugar issues, insulin resistance raises testosterone in women and decreases it in men. And maybe that's why so many males and females out there are feeling, like the opposite sex, is that guys have less testosterone. They're less of a man. I mean, if you look at just straight numbers, men today average 50% lower sperm count and testosterone than we did 50 years ago, an average of 1% per year. So we're literally half the men, half the man we used to be. And women, when their blood sugar gets out of balance and they start getting insulin resistance, it starts converting to PCOS, and we start getting this higher testosterone. And so then you start getting chin hair and you feel a little bit more aggressive or whatever it is. And so it's ironic that really flip-flops what we feel like and what our hormones are doing. So if you have a high testosterone, you 100% have to get your blood sugar balanced out. The best way is to get a continuous glucose monitor, to get a finger prick glucose monitor, any way to start tracking and get that blood sugar stabilized. Try it on your own. If you can't get it figured out, that's where we come in. We'll walk you through this process. They won't test my adrenals because I end up on prednisone because they don't listen to me. Yeah, so again, if they're not going to test those, then reach out and we can test all those markers. Yes, you may be on prednisone, but we've got a great testimonial picture of one of our patients just got off of prednisone. She showed a pre and post picture since we started care. Pre-picture was like this. Regular picture looked like a normal face now. Just amazing the results that she's got getting off that prednisone. But how did she get off prednisone? Getting to the underlying root cause was huge. All right, I have extreme low back pain when I'm standing. And feel pain on my lower left side of the stomach. I have unexplained bruises on my legs and patches of red skin that flare up, then disappear. Never got to the restroom once every 2 to 3 weeks. Can you guys imagine? Every 2 to 3 weeks going to the bathroom. I mean, 2 to 3 days, and most people are super uncomfortable. I got to run to the restroom, can't control it. What could be happening with me? So, when we start talking about these inflammatory conditions, the weird red spots, the bruising, it could be ITP, thrombocytopenia, which is where you're attacking your platelets. That's autoimmune. I saved a lady from church last year that they wanted to take out her spleen, and we were able to have her keep her spleen because we calmed down her autoimmune. But anytime you see all these weird symptoms, start thinking about autoimmune. Start with that wheel that I drew and start going through each and every one of those systems. I guarantee you, if you start taking some massive action and fixing each and every one of those, you may never know what it is, but you're going to feel significantly better. Is type 1 autoimmune? You can't cure it. So here's the deal. Type 1 diabetes is autoimmune. The body's attacked the pancreas, destroyed the cells. I have never seen somebody regrow, regenerate their cells from type 1 diabetes. But here's the deal. If you don't fix why the body is attacking its tissue, there's a very good chance it's going to go on and attack something else, and you can turn into lupus or RA or something else. So you still have to address the autoimmune in general and why the body went into this inflammatory cascade. And then number two, you've got to look at stabilizing that blood sugar. And this is what we do with our type 1 diabetic patients all the time, is what we can get them 100 to 140 day and night, and if they go up 200, anything like that, they know why. They ate the wrong thing, and that's what we're looking at. All right, nothing else. Oh, no, there's a couple there. Paula, you are so welcome. Tammy, how to get blood work. Yeah, so Tammy, click the link down below, schedule that discovery call, and so it will definitely they'll get a hold of you. That discovery call, they probably have some even today or tomorrow available. One of our team can call you, and we'll go over exactly how to get that blood work no matter where it is. Can you discuss more markers on blood work? Yeah, so here, let me show you guys what you need to be testing when you go to your doctor. So we need to see what is called the CBC, and that is going to be checking anemia, checking your immune system markers. Do you have viruses, bacterial infections, things like that? You need to look at your CMP, which is going to tell us about protein digestion, kidneys, liver function, some of those things. And these are routine panels, but in there, we're able to pull out so much more information than just, oh, you're not anemic, it's fine. We're able to pull out tons of information there. Then you need to look at your inflammatory markers. I like to run CRP and homocysteine on everyone. Those are going to tell us about inflammation. Autoimmune markers, we want to run ANA, we want to run rheumatoid factor, and your Hashi's, both of your Hashi's antibodies. So we've got to know, like yesterday, I found a lady, her rheumatoid factor showed up, 56 years old, no idea. Her joints were achy, but we run this on everybody. We find probably 25% of our patients are positive for either ANA and rheumatoid factor, and they had no idea. Guess what? I would have much rather caught my mom's autoimmune condition and the body flaring it up before she was diagnosed with MS, before she collapsed at my football game, before she had to get a cane, before she had to get a wheelchair, all of those things. I would have much rather caught it, and that's what we're doing here. Then we look at some of our unique markers. GGT is fatty liver. You need to run insulin, but I like insulin non-fasting. I want to see what it's doing during the day when you're eating and moving and everything, not just when you fasted. We want to run ferritin. Ferritin, if I could only run one marker on everybody, it would be ferritin. Ferritin low, yes, anemia, but usually leaky gut, malabsorption, issues like that. Ferritin high, usually an inflammatory state, liver, metabolic syndrome, blood sugar issues, things like that. We want to run a complete thyroid. So that complete thyroid, you want to look at your TSH, T3, T4, free and total, and your reverse T3. So complete thyroid, we'll check that lipid panel. You want to check your vitamin D is going to be huge as well. And so you've got to dig deep into all these markers. A1C, telling us about your blood sugar, so many different things. This is why when you go to your doctor and you say, hey, I want a complete blood test, you know, they're not going to do the whole thyroid. They're not going to do the GGT. They're not going to do the insulin. Very commonly, they don't do ferritin. They won't test you for Hashimoto's. They're not checking the rheumatoid factor. They're not checking the ANA. Maybe they'll check the CRP. They're usually not checking homocysteine. Maybe CRP, but probably not. They'll check your lipid panel, probably a vitamin D, a CMP, a CBC, and maybe your A1C. But if you're like 35, they probably won't even check your A1C. So now here's your complete blood panel. Does that sound complete? I don't think so. And so that is why we do what we do. That is why we jump in and we run the panels like we do is because we've got to see all of these different markers. And we've got to know what is truly going on. So if you need help with that, if you need support, if your doctor will not run all these tests on you, click the link down below, schedule that discovery call, and let's go over exactly how you can get that blood work done. If you're close to the Colorado or Tennessee offices, even patients drive 400, 500, 600 miles to get to us at our different locations. Our Tennessee office, it's crazy. People drive down from Pennsylvania, from Illinois, Indiana, up from Florida, Arkansas, all over the place. So, and same thing over here in Colorado. And if that doesn't work for you and you can't come in to get the brain map, to get the blood work, to get the in-depth neurologic metabolic exam from one of our F8 doctors, then let's do it remotely. And let's get you the blood done wherever you live. We can do through LabCorp. 99% of the U.S. population lives within 30 miles of a LabCorp. So we can get a LabCorp test done. If you live out in the middle of nowhere and it's like 4 hours to LabCorp, we can get a kit drop shipped to you. You can run it through your local lab or hospital, have them draw it, and then ship it out to our processing in California. We'll review that. We'll get it back in a week. One of my doctors will sit down with you, let you know exactly what you have going on, and come up with a game plan from there. My white blood cell count is 10. What does that mean? So again, let's review this. White blood cell count, I like it 5 to 8. So 5 to 8 for white blood cell count. If it's over 8, that's an acute infection. If it's under 5, this is a chronic infection. So if it's at 10, you're potentially get inflamed, you broke your ankle, something like that. But a lot of times it's an acute infection. So you got exposed to something, your body's real revved up and fighting. It's the immune system is really revved up at that point. If it's less than 5, that's usually a chronic infection, usually viral. So look for lymphocytes if they're over 38%. That's usually like an Epstein-Barr virus, reactivated virus, something like that. If it's neutrophils over 58%, that could be H. pylori or some other type of chronic bacterial infection. And let's go here. Yep, this is so interesting. I had my thyroid removed 4 years ago and no help for weight. So again, just like that circle that I drew there where it was, all of these things that could be contributing to weight gain. Well, guess what? Thyroid, I don't even think I drew thyroid up there. Sure, thyroid can affect that, but just by having the thyroid removed, going on thyroid medication, now you've got a steady stream of thyroid medication. The vast majority of patients that are still overweight, that are having problems, we look at what they have going on and we say, okay, well, it's probably not your thyroid. There are other things that you're doing and that are going on, and just by getting enough, some people have too much thyroid hormone and they still won't lose weight. So that is a big part of it. Let's see. 7 years, I'm always sick, lung, muscle, bones, organ issues. I'm so lost and frustrated. Yeah, so here's the deal. What we have going on is you have an immune inflammatory state. I don't know. We can label it. You could go to Mayo Clinic and they could dive down and test all these little things and say, this is the one thing that we will name it, and then give you a drug for it. But here's the deal. I almost don't care what we would call it. And this is for any of you out there that has a condition, that has IBS, that has fibromyalgia, that has irritable bowel or chronic fatigue syndrome, or they tell me it's this autoimmune, but then they tell me it's not. Here's the deal. It doesn't matter. And of course it matters, because that's why you're on here. That's why you're going to call us, schedule that discovery call, get your $25 off the blood work today. Let my new patient coordinator know that you watched this video today. Whatever you have going on as far as a symptom, the end stage diagnosis, that is out here. What we have to do is take this step back and go through, okay, What are the adrenals doing? What is the blood sugar doing? What is the gut doing? What's that microbiome doing? Is the brain in a chronic fight or flight? Are we never getting a good sleep? What is going on? And that is the biggest thing that we need. Hey guys, this is a live Q&A, and I guarantee you I'm not going to get to everybody's question. I wrote up earlier, Dr. Ben at F8 Well Center is my direct email. Send me an email, DM us, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you guys are on, send us a DM, or just click that link below, schedule that discovery call, get $25 off your blood work, and we would love to talk to you about what you have going on, and not name it, not the condition, not the, ooh, have you ever treated X, Y, or Z? It's, hey, can you figure out which systems are out of balance and correct those? So, Ann Lawrence, I hope I have acid reflux. I'm very bloated. I'm also having pain under my left rib cage, which goes to my back. I'm also burping a lot. And here's the deal. I'm going to give you my guarantee. And as of now, no one has ever reached back out 7 days later and asked for one of my books. I would love, to give away some books. Brittany, maybe we'll do that next time. Let's come up with a way we'll give away a couple of books. So I have 2 books. Brittany can put links down below. I don't do this to sell my books, but they're awesome. Rebuild Your Brain, Stop the Damage, Stop the Damage, Start the Repair, and then Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie. 2 books on Amazon. You can grab those. But here's the deal. I'll give you one of my books free if you do this for 7 days straight, and you do it consistently, do it exactly like I tell you, and you don't feel significantly better. So do this. I have acid reflux, I'm very bloated. So first thing that we need to think about is you actually probably are not making enough stomach acid. Should I drop my mic? So you're probably not making enough stomach acid. This is so common. Over 90% of people do not make enough stomach acid. Stress and aging both decrease the amount of stomach acid. But doc, I'm getting acid reflux. That means I have too much acid. No, it means it's regurgitating, and the valve that usually keeps it closed and keeps it down the stomach is not keeping it closed, and it's coming up, causing reflux, causing burning, all of these things. So what is actually happening? Most people, it's actually not enough stomach acid. So try these things. You're going to, every bite you take, chew 30 times. Chew, 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 chew. 30 times. If you do that, every time you eat, chew 30 times for the next 7 days. If it doesn't work, let me know, and I'll send you a free book. Number 2 you're going to do for the next 7 days is you're not going to drink fluids with your meals. No water, no iced tea, no sweet tea, no wine, whatever. If you need a little sip, and you're like, I'm a little bit dry. Okay, and you do that once or twice. Okay, that's fine. But you're not going to drink 6, 8, 12, 16 ounces or go to the all-you-can-eat place and they refill your tea the whole time. Do not drink fluids with your meals. Number 3 thing for the next 7 days that you're going to do, and I guarantee you're going to see significant improvement. I'll give every one of you this guarantee. Let me know in 7 days, and I'll take you at your word. If you try these things and you do not see significant improvement, then let me know. I'll send you a book free. But here's the deal: if you do them and you do see significant improvement, you've got to jump on and give me a testimonial and tell people how great you're feeling by doing these. So chew 30 times. You're going to not drink fluids with your meals, and then you're going to combine your foods properly. And this is going to be probably the most challenging because you're going to keep your proteins and your starches separate at your meals. What does that mean? You are not going to have your burrito. How about this, guys? Chipotle burrito, like a bean and rice and chicken burrito, 150 grams of carbs. That's like 2 days worth of carbs. It's crazy. You can hibernate after you eat one of those. So no burritos, no tacos, no eggs and toast, no turkey sandwich, no potatoes and steak, none of these things. Keep your proteins and starches separate, and then you eat fruit in between as snacks. Do not eat your fruit with your meal, and I guarantee you in the next 7 days, you are going to see amazing results. So anybody that's having a digestion issue, try this. So we're going to chew 30 times per bite. We're going to say no fluids with your meals. And we're going to say combine properly. That means proteins and starches separate. So chew 30 times, no fluids with your meals, and combine your foods properly, your proteins and your starches separate. I guarantee you next 7 days you will feel significantly better. Let me know if it does not work, and I will give you a free book. But if it does work, you guys, anybody that's doing it, jump on, give a testimonial, give a shout out, and I guarantee you we're going to see some massive change there. Hypothyroid here. How do I find out if it's Hashis or Graves'? So here's the deal. You just have to run a blood test, and there are specific antibodies. For Hashimoto's, we run this on every one of our patients. So what does that mean? TPO and TG, thyroglobulin antibodies. Those are the two things that you need to test. And then there's specific ones for Graves'. We only do those if there's symptoms usually. But yeah, it's so simple. If we do it through LabCorp, I'll do this. It's like $14 to get that blood work through LabCorp. It's crazy how cheap it is. Christina, so don't eat the protein with the starch at all in the same meal. Exactly, that's proper food combining. And you know what's funny? I've been doing this forever, but a while back, remember Suzanne Summers from Three's Company, and she had the Thigh Master and all that stuff. She wrote a whole bunch of books, and that was actually one of the premises in her books. She talked about a bunch of other things, but she talked about proper food combining. Let's see, when can you drink water after a meal? So 30 minutes before or after is going to be huge in there. Do you believe in parasite cleanses? Yes, parasite cleanses exist. No, I'm kidding. It's like Santa Claus, right? So do you believe in parasite cleanses? I assume you're asking, are they constructive? Should we do parasite cleanses? Here's the deal. Some people have parasites that are affecting their health. Does everybody have parasite cleanse? If you look at TikTok and some of these nutritionists or just random people that have done one and they show you a picture of this parasite, whatever. Some people, it's a big deal. A lot of people, it's not a big deal. If that's all you do is a parasite cleanse, but you don't clean up the rest of your diet, you don't fix your blood sugar, you don't heal up your leaky gut, you don't work on your inflammatory processes and your brain and calm down that ADD pattern that you have going on or whatever, then absolutely, parasite cleanse is going to be neat. You might see something come out, but it's not going to fix anything. So it's one of those things. Hey, Jerry, great to see you. It's one of those things that can be constructive, but it's not the be all and end all like a lot of people are talking about. I have major anxiety help. This is the big thing I want you guys to get out of anxiety today, especially what we call random anxiety. So again, welcome everybody. Anybody just jumping on? Dr. Ben Gallagher here at F8 Well Centers. I've been talking for a while. Brittany, tell me when I gotta go. You can just cut me off, but I love going over these live Q&As. So many people out there are dealing with health issues, and you're not getting the results. You're not getting the care that you need. So that's why I have my F8 doctors around the country. Colorado, Tennessee, brick and mortar. You can come in, get a brain map, get blood work, do the in-depth neurological metabolic exam, but we also work with patients remotely. If you need to get a hold of me directly, Dr. Ben at f8wellcenters.com. I saw an email, actually 2 already came in from some of you guys reaching out. DM us, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, any way you want to get a hold of us. But the best thing to do if you're having a health issue, schedule that discovery call. Down below, there's a link. Schedule the discovery call. I'm giving anybody that's on this call today, I'm giving them $25 off our blood work. Just let them know that I did it. Nobody knows that I said that, so I think Brittany's going to be telling them. So hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. I just work here, and we'll see if I get in trouble. So. Random anxiety. This is going to be a huge part of it. Some people are just anxious all day, and that's just how they roll. That's usually a brain thing. We do a brain map, we do neurofeedback, and we fix anxiety all the time. Random anxiety is actually because of this. When the blood sugar goes down, so again, I like it 85 to 110 all day long. When that blood sugar goes down, especially when it goes down too fast, there's something called the adrenal glands, and they are stimulated to tell the liver to release glucose into the bloodstream. So every time you get a hypoglycemic event, every time you get spacey, dizzy, hangry, give me some hearts. Anybody get hangry out there? It's not much fun. If you get this crash, your body says red alert, brain needs glucose, body needs glucose, red alert, what do? Well, we're storing some in our liver, kick it out of the liver. So then we get glucose into the bloodstream, great. But what else do we have? Adrenaline from the adrenal gland. Random anxiety. Think about this, waking up in the middle of the night, if you wake up in the middle of the night, hard time getting back to sleep, and you're like, oh my gosh, my mind's racing, I've got so much on my mind, I can't shut it down. If you've got a towel in your bed and you're going to wake up and it's going to be sweated through that towel, and that's why you put that in there, it is a blood sugar issue. If you're just sitting randomly in class and you start getting heart palpitations, or if one of your daughters is or whatever, and you start freaking out, random anxiety, that's a blood sugar issue. 99% of the time, there is a blood sugar component. That's why you need a continuous glucose monitor. Every one of our new patients goes home with a continuous glucose monitor, and we're able to see exactly why it goes up, why it goes down, why it goes up, why it goes down, and we see miracles all the time. So here's the deal. The blood sugar crashes are going to tell the liver to kick out glucose, and we're going to see this miracle all the time. So let's go in here, and this is huge. If you are having random anxiety, stabilize your blood sugar every single day, 85 to 110. How do you do that, doc? Well, you got to know what it's doing. You got to track it. For years, we did fingerprint glucose monitoring. In the last 3 years, we were able to get a continuous glucose monitor, a Dexcom G6. They said January, a G7 is supposed to be coming out, the next version. It's half the size. Any of my patients out there, if you're thinking about getting a G6, just keep your fingers crossed that we get that G7 any day now. It's half the size, way easier to use, even more accurate through there. And so you need to start stabilizing, figure out when that blood sugar is crashing, but not just, oh, now I need to eat something here. You need to catch it up here and go, oh, what did I do at that point? Oh, I spiked it. Oh, I didn't eat enough fat. There's some reason going on there. So if you're having random anxiety, if you're having issues where you are not able to get the brain to calm down like you want, let us know. Click that link. This is what we do every single day. Why I wrote my blood sugar book, Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie. Brittany, if you can think, I just want to give away a couple of books today. So think of something here quick, and we'll let people, here's the deal. I'm going to do this. That's what I'm going to do. Brittany, don't get mad at me. So anybody that schedules that discovery call today, and they schedule, end up getting that blood work and scheduling their exam, you get to pick out one of my 2 books, and we'll send you one of those for free. So again, let the new patient coordinator know that too. So Brittany, you didn't come up with anything for me to do to give away the book. So I'm going to do that. Anybody that signs up for new patient exam today gets one of my books for free as well. As soon as I eat with having anxiety attack, I feel better. Exactly, that's what we just drew. Thank you so much for confirming what we're talking about. This is huge. So guess what, guys? If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling, oh my gosh, I've got all this going on, and you eat something, well, I don't want to say something, because that something could be a Snickers, it could be some candy, it could be whatever, that's not good. You're going to spike up, and then you're going to crash down again. But if you eat something that stabilizes that blood sugar and you feel better, it is because you have a chronic blood sugar imbalance, and it's not diabetes. I almost guarantee your blood sugar your average might look good, but it's these swings, it's these highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows, and that is the huge issue. Mine is 66 currently, but I feel fine. If you're talking about blood sugar, 66 is not fine. So some people don't feel that random anxiety, but if your glucose is at 66, that is not fine. You're stimulating the adrenals right now. The blood sugar at 66, that is your number one biggest stressor to your adrenal glands. You're stressing out your adrenals, your cortisol is crashing, and we are seeing major issues through there. I get anxiety after I eat. It depends on how long it is after you eat. If that is within a couple minutes, that could be food allergy, that could be a vagal nerve reaction, but if it's like 30, 40, 60 minutes afterwards, then that's probably the blood sugar crashing down. All right, what about intermittent fasting? Let's keep going on this hypoglycemia thing. If you are hypoglycemic, if you get random anxiety, if your blood sugar crashes down, if you're not able to go 4, 5, 6 hours without eating, then intermittent fasting is not going to be good for you. So many people that are hypoglycemic, that are having these issues, don't feel like eating in the morning. And so it's actually counterintuitive because they don't feel like eating, but they need to eat to stabilize that blood sugar. Here's the deal. There's a reason we call it break fast. In the old days, they called lunch, supper, dinner. I don't know. There was you can interchange those words all the time. But here's the deal. And if anybody's on TikTok or any places where you can't see a recording of this is going to be up on YouTube and Facebook, our YouTube and Facebook pages. So if you missed any of this information, and I know TikTok it goes away, the recording, this is going to be recorded on Facebook and YouTube. You can check those out. They should be up in a few minutes after I'm done. So here's the deal. Break fast. We're fasting over the night. You need to break that fast. That's just what the body needs. If you want to do intermittent fasting, the best way to do intermittent fasting is actually from like 5 o'clock at night. And then Kelly, awesome. Thank you for those shares. From 5 o'clock at night, you want to roll that all the way to, it could be 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. That would be a great intermittent fasting. It helps your brain rebuild. One of the best things you can do to let your brain rebuild is to not eat before bed. But intermittent fasting in the morning is actually pretty darn stressful on the body, and we don't recommend it very often. That's not one of the, they're keto and intermittent fasting, and that's all you do and you're going to get fixed. No, it can actually cause more problems long term for people. So, holy cow, we've got a lot of questions. Let me keep going here. And what numbers should you look at for Hashimoto's? So Hashimoto's is going to be TPO and TG thyroglobulin antibodies. So TPO, I don't like TPO over 25. So I say under 25 on the TPO. The thyroglobulin, depends which lab you use. One of the labs we use, Vibrant, they're the way they measure it it's all about the decimal points. It's more about we want it under 50, but LabCorp, theirs is 0.9, so we want it under 0.9. So anyways, if the lab says it's high on thyroglobulin, you've got Hashimoto's. If it's TPO, most of the labs say 36, but I actually like that less than 25. So how do you test those? Well, you ask your doctor, but unfortunately, if you ask your doctor to run the Hashimoto's antibodies, guess what's going to happen? They're going to say yes or no, but then even if it is a yes, they're going to give you what? Levothyroxine. And just like the patient I had yesterday, that 15 years ago, her doctor said you have Hashimoto's, and they put her on levothyroxine, and she's been taking levothyroxine for the last 15 years. They did not fix her autoimmune, and now she tested positive for rheumatoid arthritis. Now she has a really weird skin, itchy, burny reaction going on, probably autoimmune as well. They did not perform good medicine. That was not good medicine to just put somebody on a medication. If somebody has another autoimmune condition, it is very likely over 50% of the people that have one autoimmune condition have multiple, and you are attacking other systems in the body. So 2 forms of Hashimoto's, you got to know which one. And my TPO is over 2,000. Okay, it's high. You have Hashimoto's. Here's the deal as well, though. whether it's 200 or 2000 doesn't really determine how bad the Hashimoto's is. So not that huge. But if your doctor isn't doing anything, if your doctor is just saying, hey, let me give you thyroid medication, you need a second opinion. Schedule that discovery call. You're gonna get $25 off your blood work today, and I'm gonna give you a free book if you sign up for that new patient exam. And you can pick my blood sugar book or my brain book, either one. They're both on Amazon. I would love to get that out to you guys. I am diabetic, have underactive thyroiditis. Why do I have acne and itch all over my body? One thing, your testosterone and DHEA may be too high. Remember, I drew that out earlier and showed how the cortisol, chronic stress, can steal DHEA and testosterone in women. But if you have prediabetes, diabetes, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, any blood sugar type thing, it can actually drive that pathway as well, and you can get more testosterone. So if you're having acne, if you're itch all over, you probably have Hashimoto's and another one or two autoimmune conditions. So what do we do about Hashimoto's? Well, you take levothyroxine. No, I'm kidding. That's what you're going to do if you go to your endocrinologist, if you go to your PCP, and even if you insist, I've got to run these two markers, but guess what? They're still just going to give you the same drug. Not that they don't care. I mean, they love you and they want you to get healthy and better and all that, but because they don't care, because this is the deal. The medical model cure or fix or stopping of autoimmune is prednisone, methotrexate, which is low dose chemo, you start losing your hair, all kinds of stuff. Humira, $12,000 a month. We're talking, $150,000 a year just to pay for Humira before you do anything else. All these drugs are actually worse symptoms, side effects than Hashimoto's. So what do you need to do? You need to take that step back, and that's Brittany. Go ahead and post another link for the autoimmune or Hashimoto's on YouTube. I've got 700 videos on YouTube, tons in regards to autoimmune, Hashimoto's, thyroid, all types of different things. And we're actually going to be doing an in-office workshop in Fort Collins, in Denver, and in Nashville next Tuesday evening. So if any of you guys are within driving distance, come over. We're going to be giving some great information, hook you guys up with some amazing deals, anything we can do to help you guys get educated as much as feasibly possible on thyroid. Need help? I'm stressed, hair loss, and shaky. So let's just break those down. Hair loss could be thyroid, so it could be Hashimoto's, it could be any of those. And hey, Houghton, good to see you, buddy. Hope you are doing well. So it could be thyroid for hair loss. It could be malabsorption. You're not getting enough nutrients. So many things can happen that the body needs to be able to make hair, grow hair, keep hair. But if you have malabsorption, that can be part of it. Could be some mineral deficiencies. It could be that you're not absorbing your proteins as well enough, so your amino acids, collagens, things like that. So that's hair loss. You got to figure out which one of those it is. Other one was shaky. If it's all the time shaky, then you have to look into some neurologic diseases, conditions. If it's occasional shaky, look for that hypoglycemia, just like that low blood sugar that I was talking about. That could be part of what we've got going on. We could also be looking at, when you said the stressed, everybody has stress. Jobs and cars and kids and COVID and presidents, and you go to the grocery store and it's $400. Four boys, so that happens. But one of them shot a deer last week. We're gonna get another deer this weekend, so filling up that freezer. So here's what's going on is if you are stressed, first thing you need to think about is getting what's called a brain map done. This is what we do in all of our offices. We're able to see exactly where those brain waves are out of balance, and if you're dealing with any of these issues with the high anxiety wave, any of that, then you can do what is called neurofeedback. So I think I've got time for one or two more. Will you go live during your in-house class? You know, that's a great great question. And Brittany, let's think about that. How we can do that one. And I will I'll do the best I can on that one to come up with a game plan, and that would be awesome. But yeah, we'll be doing that thyroid one next week, and I'll talk to my team about how we can go live. And okay, last question. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to jump. I've got patients on the hour, so I've got to go. But I love this. This is one of my favoritist live Q&As. We've had hundreds and hundreds of questions. I didn't get to them all. Email me, Dr. Bennett, FA Will Center. So how do you fix malabsorption, leaky gut, any of these things? If your ferritin is low, if your ferritin is under 40, you have some type of malabsorption or leaky gut, guaranteed. So here we go. We call it the 4 R's. We're going to remove. Write these down. So remove, you need to remove any pathogens, bad bacteria, H. pylori, yeast, if you have candida, any of those things, that oregano max that Brittany put a link down to, my favorite kill-off possibly. If I could only use one thing for the gut, it would be that. We're going to remove pathogens, but also food allergens. Gluten, corn, soy, dairy. If it's full-blown leaky gut, full-blown autoimmune, you probably need to take out nightshades, beans, nuts, and seeds. And 2 to 4 weeks of this is going to be really helpful. You need to replace, and so you're going to replace any of these things that the body isn't making enough, like stomach acid. So many, again, over 95% of people do not have enough stomach acid. You can start with apple cider vinegar, betaine hydrochloride. You're going to need more stomach acid. If you've had your gallbladder removed, you need to replace bile salts. The gallbladder support that we have, Brittany, you can put that link to that one down below as well. So if you've got your gallbladder out, you probably need to be supporting breaking down fat with that meal. If you need enzymes, if you're seeing undigested food in the stool, enzymes are going to be huge. We've got a couple different enzymes on our Wellstorm that we use with patients. So replace those things that are not enough. Re-inoculate. I'm not going to spell that one all the way out, but re-inoculate. This is going to be bringing in good bacteria. Kill off, build back up. You probably need to do that. If it's bad, you need to do that 2 or 3 times through. Absolutely. So probiotics. And then you need to repair. Repair is going to be when we start healing up that gut lining. So we have L-glutamine, zinc carnosine, aloe vera juice. You can do marshmallow root. So many different nutrients, even collagen, bone broth, fermented foods. So many things can start healing that up. But if all you do is take some collagen, you're not going to repair if you still are eating gluten, if you still don't make enough stomach acid, and you don't have enough good bacteria. So here's the deal, guys. Same thought process to everything we've been talking about today. You've got to get to the underlying why. Why is the body out of balance? Why is it not working like it's supposed to? Which systems are out of balance? You cannot treat the body symptom-based. This symptom, take this pill, drug, surgery, supplement, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You can't treat it symptom-based and expect amazing results. System-based over here is where it has to be. You have to address each and every one of those systems. If you're not getting the results, if you're not getting the true health that you want in your life, whether it's thyroid, whether it's digestion, any of these things, I'm giving away a couple great things today. We're going to do $25 off the blood work today. So if you jump in, schedule that discovery call, talk to my new patient coordinator, let them know that I was rambling on and told you get $25 off your blood work. And then if you sign up for that blood work and exam as well, I'm going to actually have them send you one of my books for free, either the blood sugar book or the brain book. They're both on Amazon if you just want to go grab those, or if you're already a patient, you can grab those. So here's the deal, guys. I love all the questions. You have so many people are underserved in the medical model. This is my passion. This is why I've set up multiple offices. We don't, it's not because I'm getting rich off this. It's because this is my passion. This is my mission in life to truly get this model out to the masses, that we are being underserved, especially think about the thyroid. You were given a levothyroxine, just like my patient yesterday. 15 years ago, she was given levothyroxine. They knew she had Hashimoto's. They did nothing for her autoimmune. Now she has rheumatoid arthritis. She's starting to attack her joints. She's got a weird autoimmune that's causing pain and burning in her skin. And we're 15 years down the road that we have to reverse these things, as opposed to I would have loved to address it 15 years ago. And that's my mission in life. I want to catch these kids when they're 12, when they're 16, 20, before they get to this full-blown state like you and I, where we already have kids, we got grandkids, whatever it is, and we've been just fighting the body and all these things. But there are solutions, there are things. If you need help, if you need support, share this with anybody as well. Any loved ones, love talking to you guys. Let them know, and just tell them that you heard about it today as well. They can get that special on the blood work and brain map, everything as well. So love seeing you guys. Let me know what questions you have, and look for next Thursday. We'll be doing that live Q&A as well. But I go live Facebook, YouTube, TikTok all the time. Lots of videos on there, and I'll just give you everything I've got, because each and every one of you have the ability to be healthy inside, and you deserve to be healthy. So love seeing you guys. Thanks, Angela. Take care and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.